City and county leaders joined forces to tackle our region's opioid epidemic. They're now going after pharmaceutical companies they believe are to blame for the growing problem. Police just confirmed seconds ago that a 3-year-old was shot. At this time, they have not identified whether that 3-year-old is a male or female or given us any information about what condition the child is in. Mike, I know I promised at 5 that by 6 I'd be on the dance floor, but I could not leave for this red carpet. 3 suspects in Wisconsin are now in custody for reportedly stealing a statue of the Virgin Mary. And if that's not strange enough, the trio was caught because of an unusual clue. Corn dogs. I guess at a gas station anytime can be corn dog season.
That's right.
Not sure I would trust a gas station corn dog, but hey, to each their own. Mike, while parts of Pearl City are dry, in other places there's still a lot of work to be done. I'm going to step out of the shot just a little bit so you can see behind me. Many neighbors are still cleaning up their backyards, and even you can see they're working on clearing this water out of the business behind me. The death of a Sacramento father shot 8 times by police in his grandmother's backyard has sparked protests across the country. Now organizers are planning a vigil for him here in Rockford. Here's how the timer cap works. We put our prescription inside and then screw on the top. It then literally acts as a timer, letting us know the last time we or anyone else opened up the medication.
And I think I know someone who would be a perfect CDO right here.
I was looking at the requirements. First one, must love donuts. Check. Would you spend an evening in jail?
Absolutely would do that. Yeah.
I wouldn't do it. There are certain things high school seniors look forward to: prom, graduation, and their senior prank. Seniors at Auburn High School pulled off a pretty unique one. For their prank, Auburn seniors put the school up for sale on Craigslist. Village of McChesney Park leaders tell us they got more calls about when the KFC on 173 would reopen than they got about potholes. Mike, for the first time, we're getting a clearer picture of what happened in the final moments of the lives of Rockford police officer Jamie Cox and Eddie Patterson.
Officer Cox, who was conducting a lawful stop, would have ended his shift alive. Patterson would have been arrested for obstruction of justice and driving while license revoked, and quite probably would have posted bond and gone home safely to his family.
The Winnebago Boone County Integrity Task Force says on the afternoon of November 4th, 2017, Eddie Patterson left work at the BMO. A witness told police Patterson texted a friend later that night about buying marijuana. Then at midnight, Patterson said he was going to the video store. This video shows Officer Cox pulling over Patterson and running his plates around 1 a.m. November 5th. Police say the plates were expired and his license revoked. Cox called for backup and said Patterson was running. That was the last time Cox was heard from.
Officer Cox, disposition check on Control 2 with your location, please. Officer Cox, disposition check and location on 2, please.
Witnesses told police they saw Patterson's white truck speeding off from the traffic stop. That truck was going 58 miles per hour according to the task force, and Cox was caught inside. The task force reveals there are several pieces of evidence that show Cox's use of deadly force was justified, including his handcuffs found with one side open and the other closed, a bruise on Cox's leg from the bolts on the inside door of Patterson's car, and his DNA on Patterson's gear shift. While the investigation was lengthy, task force member Sam Thomas says it was necessary.
I think as a task force, we have an obligation to the 2 families of Eddie Patterson and Jamie Cox to do as comprehensive investigation that we can, and I think that we accomplished that and are able to tell the story as best as possible.
Enjoy these off-white jerseys, and once a Titan, always a Titan.
Once a Titan, always a Titan. These are words Virgil Abloh doesn't take lightly. He proved that by surprising BOYLAN senior soccer players with a graduation gift.
It's really awesome to think about how alumni like Virgil are still giving back to BOYLAN.
The 1998 BOYLAN grad has been named one of Time magazine's 100 most influential people and artistic director of Louis Vuitton's menswear collection. He's now collaborating with Nike for its off-white collection. These athletes are some of the first in the world to wear it.
It's amazing for Virgil to give back.
Our principal, Mr. Rosansky, had called all the seniors that had played soccer this year over and was like, so we have a very generous donor offering to give you guys something. And we all got a little suspicious that it would maybe be Virgil.
We're like, oh, it's probably Virgil. At that moment, I was kind of excited, but I didn't want to get my hopes up too much because then I'd be like, they just give us flip-flops or something.
Even though Abloh couldn't be there to surprise the students, he sent a note along with the Nike team who hand-delivered the items.
We got brand new cleats, socks, shin guards, the jerseys, and a pair of shorts. It's sick. It's really cool.
As the Titans prepare for their final days in high school, they say this gift is more than just a pair of cleats and a jersey. It's inspiration to succeed.
If we work hard enough, we can make it to where Virgil is, and that's why I strive to be.
This is a moment John Horton wasn't ever sure he'd see.
23 years and 5 months. You don't know what that day is going to look like. I didn't know what it would look like, but I'll accept this.
Today, he says he's grateful to be free, surrounded by family and friends.
It took a while, but he didn't give up on me, and those that love me didn't give up on me.
Horton was accused of killing a man at an area McDonald's back in 1993 when he was 17 years old. Melissa Pappas was his girlfriend at the time. She says she remembers dropping him off to clear his name. That was the day he confessed to the crime and was arrested.
It's sad that it took 23 years for this to happen.
Although he confessed, Horton says he didn't commit the crime, but only signed the confession because he was tired after a 10-hour interrogation. The Illinois Appellate Court says new evidence has surfaced, and now they're granting him a new trial.
This is a case of a murder that happened in 1993 that we know who committed it, and we know it's not the man who's been locked up for almost a quarter century.
Horton is now out on bond. While his family knows they'll never get 23 years back they missed with him, they're excited for an opportunity at a fresh start.
All the brown bags get used? Because it was 200 brown bags.
Pastor Jamel Flanagan is not usually in the delivery business, but as it gets warmer outside, he admits he does what he needs to do to make sure area kids have food.
We have passed over 425 bags now. Our goal is 1,000.
The Westside pastor volunteers at a local school. He says he noticed how much the students relied on the lunches. And now that school's out for the summer, he says he wants to make sure the kids are still eating. To some, this might just be a small sack lunch of a sandwich, some chips, and cookies. But Pastor Flanagan says these small sack lunches can make a big difference in the life of a child.
We never know what they go through behind closed doors. So I do believe that these meals or this lunch have definitely kept some from just stealing and picking up records at a young age.
After Flanagan and volunteers at Jerusalem Baptist Church finished packing up the sandwiches, chips, cookies, and juice,
We got some cookies in there.
and they drive around the neighborhood handing them all out.
There we go. They go one for you.
When we actually give the bags to the kids, they literally look at the bag, and you would think we dropped $20 in there.
Flanagan says he wants the project to continue year-round, taking it to other Rockford neighborhoods in hopes of keeping kids full
I thought that was you.
and out of trouble.
Just because I see the need, not just on the west side of Rockford, but just everywhere, from the east side, south side, and even the north side of Rockford.
We'll make our way over there. How many is it?